In the spirit of chess, today we'll be looking at a game played by Arjun, Erigaisi, and Fedoseev in the Tata Steel Series 2026 Master Series. Yeah, Arjun playing the white piece open with pawn to d4. Fedoseev responded with knight to f6, c4, pawn to e6, knight to f3, pawn to d5, going for the center, claiming dominance in the center by Fedoseev. Knight to c3, bishop to b4, queen to b3, pawn to c5, bishop to g5, pinning the black queen. C takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes c4 with a check, and a response with queen takes bishop on c3, pawn to e5, knight to b5, controlling the knight, controlling the c7 and the d6 square. Kingside castle by black. Pawn takes d5, knight to a6. Now this knight to a6 was actually the number one move to defend the c7 square. For instance, if Fedoseev was not paying attention and he takes the pawn on d5, Arjun plan is to use the knight to fork both the rook and the queen, and this would be an automatic resign from Fedoseev. So Fedoseev saw this coming and he opts for the most precise move. He opts for the most precise move, which was knight to a6. Bishop takes f6, responded with queen takes f6, pawn to e4, bishop to d7, queen back to d2, knight to c5, attacking the e4 pawn, knight to c3, protecting the e4 pawn, rook, activating the rook on a1 to c8, rook to d1, queen to g3, attacking or piling more pressure on the e4 pawn, defending with f3, rook to pawn to f5, e takes f5, bishop takes f5. Now in this position you find out that Arjun is yet to castle, and I feel this actually is going to be one of the major problems that is going to encounter in this game. b4, knight back to d7, bishop to b5, queen to b6. Now this queen to b6 is actually forcing or is creating a hard or a major problem for white to be able to castle to king safety. Before we continue with the analysis of this game, if you love this channel, do well to subscribe. It comes with no cost, zero cost, and also you can also hit the the like button uh, to this channel, and comment if you feel that there's a place you want us to be able to improve on. Those activities actually help the growth of this channel. Fedoseev responded with queen to b6, pawn to a4, knight to f6, pawn to d6, pushing the pawn because that's actually a pass pawn. Pawn to a6, pawn to a5, queen to a7, bishop to a4, king to h8, rook to f1. As we've actually said previously, the king cannot go to the king's safety because Fedoseev have actually created an issue for Arjun to be able to deal with throughout this game or throughout this match. Pawn to b5, closing up the light square bishop. Bishop to b3, controlling that diagonal. Rook to d8, pawn to g4, bishop to g6, pawn to g5, knight to h5, knight to e2. Now knight to e2 and knight to h5. Arjun saw that or noticed that Fedoseev is planning to play the knight either to f4 to gain control of that particular square. So playing the knight back to e2 make it impossible for now for white to gain access towards that particular square. Rook to c6, queen to d5, rook to c3, bishop to a2. Now bishop to a2, this was actually a blunder because the bishop and the queen were actually doing a great work, whereby the queen was supporting the bishop on that particular diagonal. Queen to e3, queen back to d2, knight to f4, queen takes e3, rook takes e3, rook to f2. Now Arjun saw what Fedoseev was planning to do, taking the knight on e2 with the rook was going to lead to a check. So that's why, or even a checkmate, because the white queen will not be able to have any place to go to. So lifting up the rook to f1 creates a space, a free square for the white king to move around the board. Bishop to d3. Now if Arjun responds by taking that bishop, now the idea here is for Fedoseev to play this, fork both the king and the rook, and with this automatically it will be an automatic resignation for white. So he actually saw this, so he responded with king to d2, rook takes e2 with a check, rook takes e2, bishop takes e2 with an attack on the d1 rook to c1, rook takes d6 with a check, king to e3, rook to d3 check. Now the rook the bishop and the knight are actually working as a trio, whereby the rook is defending the 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 knight. The knight is defending the rook, and the knight is also defending the bishop on this board. And the rook there is giving a check from the diagonal aspect of the bishop. Queen, king to e4, bishop takes f3 with a check, king to king takes e5, knight to g6 with a check, king to f5, rook to d8, rook to c7, rook to e8, rook to c5, bishop to e4 with a check, king to g4, knight to e5 with a check, king to g6, knight to d3 with a check, and also eyeing knight to f3, attacking the rook on c5, and also the pawn on b4, rook to c7, knight takes b4, attacking the bishop, so bishop has to move to f7, rook to f8. Now rook to f8 was the last move made by Arjun. Now in this game, Arjun actually resigned. This is the first defeat. This is the first defeat encountered by Arjun in this series. His last game or his previous games has either be a win or a draw. So this makes it the first defeat experienced by Arjun. If you love this content, please do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and also like and comment. It helps the channel to grow.